right, hi everybody. David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation, back with another Symphonina Foundation podcast, and I am joined today by violinist Emily Burak. Emily, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's great to meet you. I've been following with you and talking with you on Facebook for a little while, seeing your performances and your videos, and gosh, you're doing so well on YouTube. I think it's like 150 million views you've got now on YouTube for the things you're doing, and I really appreciate you getting in touch with us to be able to have some time with you. I do want to talk with you a little bit about how you got started on the violin, because I think it like super young, but let's hear your story.
My mom actually started teaching me when I was 3 years old. She's been a violin teacher my entire life since before I was born. You could say I was literally born watching string instruments play. According to her, I don't have any personal memory of this, of course, but she said that I started asking to play. So I did ask for it. She didn't make me, but she started teaching me and, had different teachers through the years and so on and so forth.
Well, 3 is very young to start any musical instrument. I started piano when I was 5, and I've mentioned to other string players, I've had 4 months of violin lessons in my life. That was enough to know that I can appreciate what you do and I can compose a little better for what you do relative to what I could before doing that. But boy, is that not the instrument for me. And I can imagine as a 3-year-old, it must be tough to, I mean, as a young kid anyway, it must be tough to go through those stages of playing the violin where, let's be honest, it really doesn't sound all that good right away. So how would that go for you? Did you just like know you were right in it and it sounded pretty good right away, or did you struggle with that too as a little kid?
I'm sure it was awful. My parents have all the home videos and they think it's great, but I think the best thing that it did for me was just teach me how to kind of get over fear of people and fear of myself at an early age. And it taught me good ear training because we started more listening and surrounding my life with music, especially violin music. It taught me good dexterity and brain function and all that, but it didn't really sound good until, I mean, much, much, much later, and still today. I'm still working on it.
Well, okay, I appreciate that, but you're at the highest levels of performance, Emily. So we'll give you that one. But I think you were already like doing very well in high school, right? If I read on your bio, right, you were already like all state for Texas, and Texas is a big state.
Yeah, I think I know Texas takes their all region and all state very seriously, still today. And it's great. It really teaches kids a lot of really good skills and lessons. And yeah, it taught me how to work. I'll give it that. It taught me how to work really hard and practice correctly. It taught me how to prepare for an orchestra audition and things like that. So
When
yeah.
you were doing that in high school and your mom's teaching you, do you have, I guess, two things that come to mind. One, did you have any friction with her as being your teacher and being your mom? Sometimes people do better when they have an outside teacher, not a family member. And then the other thing is in terms of the diligence, it really does take diligence. We've heard that from just about everybody. Can't really wing it and be great, probably at anything. So did you have that as an internal motivation where no one really needed to prompt you to do that? You just, that's what you wanted to do, or did it take a little bit more outside work to get you to do that?
Definitely, I would say outside work because as a 14-year-old, you don't really want to practice the amount of time it takes to get good at something. I mean, I want to be good, but I didn't want to practice 5 hours a day to be good. Um, but thankfully, I have to give my parents credit. I mean, I really want to. My mom, she actually taught me until I was about 9 years old. And then getting into 9, 10, starting to get preteen, tween ages, you just kind of stop listening to mom a little bit. So she sent me to other teachers at that point in time. So by the time I was in high school, I had a different teacher at that point. His name is Rod O'Neill. And he taught me like just foundational, amazing things. Um, and then my dad he's been a band director for my entire life. And so I kind of grew up with a band director world. I was in band in high school as well. I played oboe and all that.
Oh, okay.
Knowing yeah, so my dad actually, along with my violin teacher, but my dad was the one who behind the scenes would drill me on the All-State excerpts and everything and etudes, he knows nothing about violin. I mean, I think he's learning now, but he at the time knew nothing about violin, so he didn't know all the extra work I was doing to figure out how to play it. But he taught me how to play it correctly and knew what it should sound like. So I'm really, really grateful to them. And that was my first 2 years of high school. By the time I was a junior and senior, I knew the ropes and how to do it. But especially that freshman year, I didn't know what I was getting into. So, it takes a village. So
And
yeah,
a
I have to
family,
give it
and
to
that's
them.
that's great that you had such good support too. And then you went on
Oh
to
yeah.
doing a performance degree at University of North
Hmm.
Texas. So I'm guessing you stayed close to home most of your time.
I did. Yes. I thought about going up north, but I don't like being cold.
Yeah. Well, who does? Even the
Yeah, and
people
I
who live
fell in
in the
love.
cold would say they don't like being cold either. But there they are.
Yeah.
So, right? Yeah, we'll back to being cold in a bit here. I know a little something about something you have in the works, so we'll come back to that. But that's a good segue. We're going to leave it for another time. I do want to talk to you about your performance degree. Do you think that you were prepared for the college work that you had to do when you got there, based upon what you had gone through with Texas All-State and all the training you've had?
Um, yeah, I do. I think, and I'm grateful to say that, honestly. It's my teacher at University of North Texas, Julie Bushkova, she's fabulous. And that's really what chose the school for me as I fell in love with her.
Mhm.
Um, she's she really I had to up my game for sure. But I will say having the background of the Texas All-State and also being a band kid and having, early morning band practice too, I feel like I've come from both worlds. So having that work ethic through high school really did help me.
And I'm sure it's competitive of every music department you're up against, maybe up against, but in some cases it might feel that way. Other people who are also very talented. Did you feel that way also, or did you feel like, hey, we're all in it together?
Um, I am naturally pretty competitive. I want other people to succeed in life genuinely, but I also want to be the best that I can be. So, I've always just been very driven to see how far I can go and how, like, where's that limit there? Um, and it's exciting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess one question to follow on then with you would be, if I understand right, you when you finished your bachelor's degree in performance, you didn't go on for a graduate degree. Is that right, or did you?
No, I actually didn't. I thought about it and I was going to go to SMU.
Hmm.
But I started working and I was already kind of doing what I wanted to do with my life. And I thought, well, I'm in my early 20s at the time. I could always go back. Um, so yeah.
That's true. You can go back anytime, right? There's no, I don't think there's an age limit for going back for a graduate degree anywhere in any subject, really, let alone performance degree in music. So that's always open to everybody. And as you say, if you were already performing, then I guess you're already starting to meet your goals. And I have in my notes that you performed with some incredible people: Stevie Wonder, the Eagles, the Who, Michael Buble. You've performed with symphonies in Europe and Czech Republic and all over. How did you find your way to those events?
Yeah. So, well, the symphonies in the Czech Republic and across Europe, that was actually just symphonies growing up when I was in different orchestras through my teenage years. That was a great foundation also as well. And then the stuff with Stevie Wonder and Michael Bublé and things like that, they wanted to hire really, I mean, good local talent, and my name was on the list, and they chose me, and I'm grateful that they did. And really good opportunities there that thankfully right place, right time for
Yeah,
that.
it's good to be on a list, Emily. So how do you go? This is a sincere question. How does someone who has your talent and your desire get on that quote unquote list where someone who's like Stevie Wonder or their rep is, hey, like we're going to be in the Irving, Texas area, and we got to find someone who's going to be with us, and they're picking you. What kind of things does someone have to do to be in that position?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So there are contractors in DFW and around the world really that this is actually what I do now. a great little sneak peek into how I live my life now as a contractor myself. But back 10 years ago, I wasn't a contractor yet. And I knew other contractors, and they know the reps and different people for different artists. And so they know who to recommend. And so I got a call from a lady named Deborah Brooks, and she asked if I was available. And thankfully I was. And yeah, so and now thankfully that's what I do with my life is I help other musicians get more work.
Yeah. So I guess if you're one of those musicians, it's important to find the people who are the connectors, like you are now, and who
Mhm.
and Deborah, I guess it was for you before. So if you haven't found those people, how would you go about finding those people? What's the best way to ask around to find out who the right person is?
Yeah, so I mean word of mouth is really the best way is just it's a small world and people definitely know other people and who to recommend. Um, I would also say you can always just email them and send in a resume and like a little video of yourself, and they do that happens all the time. And so that's always nice because as a contractor now, I'm always on the lookout for someone who's really, really good and also very professional to work with. So it's a list that's always growing.
Yeah. And for you particularly, do you focus only in the Dallas Fort Worth, say North Texas kind of area, or are you interested in someone wherever they are?
So for right now, the Dallas-Fort Worth area or Texas in general is great for me. I personally travel and do destination events, but I'm not quite looking to contract in different states. I do know other people that do that, but yeah,
All
maybe in
right.
the future.
Okay. So we'll leave that door open. You were talking about not wanting to be cold earlier. And well, I know a little bit that there's some music video that you've produced that's going to be released soon that happened in a cold spot. So let's hear all about the genesis of that and what we can expect.
Yeah, so I've been working on this music video for about 6 months. It usually doesn't take this long, but I'm the I'll go ahead and just kind of spill the beans here.
We'll break
The
some
song
news.
is yeah, yeah. So the song is my own arrangement of the music from Interstellar. And so I kind of took the whole organ part and deconstructed it for a symphony and also like solo violin. So I wanted a really great location to film this that was as best as I could do worthy of the amazing score that Hans Zimmer wrote. So we went to Iceland in July and filmed a couple places there. And then this past September, we actually went up to Svalbard, and that is an island north of Norway. It is the northernmost lived in town in the world.
Wow.
So the northernmost settlement is in Svalbard. And we got on a boat and we sailed even more north than that, if you can believe it, up to 82 degrees north, which is 90 degrees is the tippy top of the world.
Yep.
And it's basically just solid ice. And so 82 degrees north was as far north as we could get. And I got on a sheet of ice and performed. And so people
Wow.
get to see that in the music video. And yes, it was the coldest I've ever been in my life.
And how about your polar bear encounters?
Yeah, we saw three polar bears on that trip.
There you go.
Thankfully, none that were in the vicinity of when I was playing.
Yes.
I was always on the boat when they came around. But they're just wild out there and they're beautiful. It was really special.
Well, not too hungry at the time. That's always good. That's good. If you're going to meet a polar bear, meet it when they're not too hungry. And well, when is that going to come out?
So early January. I'm nailing down the date in the next couple weeks, but in the first 2 weeks of January.
Okay, we'll look forward to starting the new year out with that. That's great. You have some other performances coming up. I think one in February with the Irving Symphony, if I have that right.
Yes, yes. So on Valentine's Day, actually, we have a bunch of different pieces on the roster. We're going to do some Celine Dion, um, and trying to think what else. Anyway, it's all love themed, of course. But my good friend and colleague who I've performed with a lot, and he's a pianist. I've done a lot of YouTube videos with him. His name is Jocelyn. He's performing with me. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And where would we go to if someone is either traveling to Irving or if they're going to be in the Dallas Fort Worth area and they want to get tickets to that? Where would they go online to find out?
Sure. So just Google the Irving Symphony. I think it's irvingsymphony.org or .com off the top of my head. I don't. But just Google the Irving Symphony, and they have their whole calendar up there, and Valentine's Day, Jocelyn and Emily, and you can purchase tickets that way.
That's great. Well, I guess what question I have for you, do you approach performing as a soloist in a situation like that any differently than you would if you were performing as part of a symphony orchestra or even in a smaller event, let's say a wedding that you were performing? Are they all the same to you, or does it get different depending on how you have to prepare?
Yeah, so they're all very different, actually. The orchestra is like a ballet company. You really need to gel with everybody and be more like one cohesive workings of a clock, right? So as a soloist, you have to stand out, and in my opinion, you're blessed to stand out and give to people, and they want to hear your voice that particular evening. So, I'm thinking of it more of like I'm not only leading the orchestra, I'm leading the guests and how they're experiencing the evening. So I want them to have the best evening possible. So I'm studying the music more. I'm really getting to know not only my part, but how is it speaking and communicating. So that's very different. And then for a wedding, I'm there for the bride, really, and her family and the groom or whoever. Yeah, so that's
But
just
mostly
a
for the
very
bride, let's
different
be honest.
situation.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Typically.
Almost always. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's more again like who are you trying to perform for? I guess it is.
That's how I think of it because people are they're giving of their time, and I mean I'm very purpose driven. I think I am. I'm always asking why am I doing this? Not only it's not all about me, right? It's like what's in it for the world and and people that it'll encounter, right? So otherwise, what am I doing? So yeah, it really is everybody's experience here, and you really get to feel that connection with people for live performances, which is that to me is what is addicting, you know.
Absolutely. I guess another audience then is the YouTube audience, and I do want to return to that. So, how long ago did you start your YouTube work? I'd say I think you're more than 150 million views now, which is incredibly great. And what is it that you do when you come to think about performing for a YouTube video that would be different than the other things that we just talked about?
Yeah, so YouTube is so I started that with Jocelyn. We started it together actually in 2018, um, at the end of 2018, I believe. And uh, when we did our Gladiator video is when things just kind of started building in a viral way. Now, looking at how I kind of think about video shoots and why I'm doing this and why I choose different songs and things like that. First of all, I have to be passionate about it as the arranger and musician. I have to really love it. And then second of all, I'm thinking of this is potentially going to go out to the world. It's a much bigger audience and it's here to stay. So it doesn't always have to be perfect, but it really it highlights whether I'm being authentically myself even more. I think in live performances, people will hear if it's you and you have that signature sound or signature look. In a video that's on the internet, people will see that for as long as internet's around. So,
Right.
it's got to be something that people want to go back, or at least I will want to go back and rewatch and re-listen to.
And do you have a lot of editing that you do when you're putting those things together? Is each one its own production? How do you do your own quality control then to decide that it is what you want?
Yeah, so it's a lot of editing. There's only been a couple instances where I didn't edit my own videos, but I typically do edit my own videos because I kind of know the sort quote unquote story that I want to tell. So it's easier for me to just edit it myself in my own voice in that way. Audio, Jocelyn doubles as a producer. So I do a little producing at home and then I bring it to him and he helps fill in some gaps. And so we kind of work together in that way. And I'm arranging the whole thing behind the scenes. So it takes a while to put these videos together in the way that I'm personally happy with it.
I bet it does. So how quickly do you release it? What's your tempo, I guess, for releasing videos?
Yeah, so right now I'm working on a certain schedule of one big edited video a month. And then I have what I'm calling fireside videos, which are they're recorded live in one take. There's no cuts or clip-ins or anything like that. It's just a live performance. And it's typically something that can be done on violin and piano. I just came out with one of The Prayer, Bocelli and Celine Dion's The Prayer.
Mhm.
They're live, so you get to really hear if people maybe prefer hearing something that's live, even if they can't be here in person. It's pretty much as close as you can get. So that I come out with one typically it's every other week. And then in December this month, I actually have Christmas fireside videos that are twice a week. So
Yeah,
that's more of a we're going up to Christmas.
yeah, it's wonderful. If people are looking for a freelance for you to work on a project for them, are you available for them?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I love collaborating with people.
And does it matter what style of music, or are you open to pretty much? And I guess if you're playing with Stevie Wonder and you're also playing with the Czech Republic Orchestra, you're probably playing anything. But what's your favorite to do?
Well, always I love classical or cinematic things like that. Also, love pop and rock, and I also have like a whole pedal board and love the whole distortion, like real heavy, almost metal stuff. It's super fun. It's not what people would think of, I don't think initially when they think of me, but I really do love that. And I think the only genre it's so funny because I'm from Texas. I think the only genre that I can do it, but I'm not a real fiddle player because I've had my entire life of classical training.
Mhm.
When you see a real fiddle player, I can see the difference, and I think people are better off getting a real fiddle player.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can do it, but yeah.
All right. If anybody wants to hire you, except for being a real fiddle player, what's the best way to get in touch with you, Emily?
If they could just go onto my website, there's a whole, you can email me through my website. So it's www.emilyburak.com.
All right, Emily, we're going to listen to some more of your great not fiddling, violining playing on the way out here. And we wish you all the best for your performance coming up. We'll look forward to that video from the Arctic in the first week of January or so. And if there's anything we can do with the Symphonina Foundation to be of help to you, just let us know.
Amazing. Thank you so much, David.